She's the director. So she's.
No, no. Janet's the one that sends all of our emails.
Yeah, she's on. Thank you.
I guess Amanda's not.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Okay, first matter of business for today. Oh, we have all council members present except for Councilmember Bolin, who will be here momentarily. We'll let you know. You'll probably see it, but anyhow. All right, first matter of business is approval of the minutes for January 6, 2026. Do I have any corrections, adjustments? And if not, I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the.
Oh, wait, hold. And I just saw one, but it was corrected. It was in discussion item, a resolution authorizing the execution. Mr. Sorensen's name was spelled wrong, but I have already brought that to Jennifer's attention. The second Sorensen in that.
Okay, now you can go. Thank you. All right, I will make a motion to approve the minutes for the committee of the whole for January 6th, 2026.
As amended.
Oh, no.
Yeah, as amended.
Oh, it was
This was on the
amended?
record,
I
yeah.
thought you had already, okay, as amended.
I'll second.
I've got a motion with an amendment on the minutes from Councilmember Turner and a second from Councilmember Pickett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
opposed? Okay, it passes. We'll note that Councilmember Bolin has arrived at 4:01.
About time.
All right, first matter of business is the Power Department report. Ooh, Greg Ballon and Matt Young's presenting.
We got here just in time.
I wouldn't want to miss my kid.
Thank you. Well, council, thank you for having us. Mayors, see y'all. We're going to be happy to be here with you. And yeah, we're got some little things to hand out for you so you can. It's going around. Yeah, probably this is easy to sit up on the glasses. Oh yeah, that works. Well, we're here to kind of give our quarterly report on our power department, and we're very grateful for being able to meet with you not too long ago, and just I want to say thank you. I kind of like that picture. There's not as much snow as there should have been, but it was. It was a fun time.
It's a nice picture.
We made it out of that parking lot just like we wanted.
You're a pro. Like done that.
True.
Yeah, so that's that's the intake up the canyon.
We didn't lose anyone in that.
No, we didn't. I thought that turned out really well.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the only person not in there that wasn't with there's Matt, but he's the dog that day. So anyway, that was just kind of fun. I appreciate. We enjoyed having you all together and just being able to see everything that we do at the power department. And again, thank you very much. So this is our agenda. We're going to just talk about cash reserves, capital and bond status, major projects coming up, and then what's next and up and coming decisions. So I think this was put in code 2023. Yeah, just as yeah. So the reserve target is 30% of the prior revenue. Purposes for emergency stability and major disruptions, and if drawn down, gets replenished within 5 years. That's in the code. So that's kind of just a short synopsis. But so if we look at last year's revenue, we had a revenue of 46.4 million, and so that gives us a reserves required per policy at about 13.9 million. And as of right now, we're right in that realm. So this is a month by month snapshot of cash reserves, is that the right terminology?
Cash for your cash flow.
Very good. So you can see our all-time peak, back in October-ish of 22, we hit just a little over 31 million with our, what we had in the bank at one point. And then we had the really fun 2022-23 winter, where we went through about 12.2 million in reserves. I'm grateful we had that though. I mean,
Is that when everything went nuts off?
yeah, that's when gas pricing natural gas went to spike to like $65 a decatherm, where we're used to $4 to $5 a decatherm. Hunter plant is having coal restrictions. So it's just like this perfect storm. Different things were happening and power costs just went crazy. And we tried to do something with UAMPS, and by the time they got it in, they moved Tesla, we had left it anyway. We don't really need to get into that. But anyway, so that's the 12.2 million we went through. And then in 2024, we spent about 3.8 million on AMI meters. And so you can just kind of see, I think Matt and I took over pretty close around May, June, somewhere in there. So we were right around 17 million about that time. So kind of gone down a little bit. We bottomed out right around $9 million. And right now we're back up to about 4.8 million. So we're on, it's looking 14, sorry. Yeah.
I make them a little nervous.
Yeah, there you go.
That's before.
14.8 million in reserves, and I think we're on a steady increase going out. Power costs right now are really steady. They're low. I hope they stay that way. I mean, we're going into our summer. We're looking for summer stuff right now. We haven't really seen. Gas pricing isn't going to be outrageous as far as for our turbine, so we're looking forward to the summer and see how things go. But we're hoping it just stays constant. That'd be nice because it helps us. It helps residents. Helps the city. So anyway, so that's. Do you have any questions on that? Any thoughts or anything? Yes.
So if you do go below the required reserves, can you continue to go below the required reserves the next year? If you have to replenish it within 5, is there any restriction on how low you can go and how many times you can deplete it?
I'm trying to think if it's spelled out like that in the code. I think it just says you have 5 years to recoup or to get back into where it needs to happen, and you'd have to start looking at rate increases or whatever needs to happen to get back up into that reserve minimum again. So that's the way I understand it, at least. So yeah. Any difference?
You can, yeah, we should just start working on getting it back up as quickly as possible. So you could, depending on circumstances, you can see it went down and then it went down a little more and then it started to go back up. So you could stay down for 2 or 3 years and then work your way back up. The goal is to get back up there in 5 years.
I don't think there's anything in there, but what I think it does state is that the council will monitor with Greg. And something to that, then if you guys decided you wanted to do whatever you had to do to get the reserves back up. Now, does this have any, I'm assuming maybe yes, the legislators talking about reserves of 25% and the taxable income or amount on that. Would that apply with this reserve too, or is that,
Because that one's general fund is what they're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
general
This is
fund.
utility.
what do we, I can't remember the.
Enterprise.
Enterprise, I think.
Yeah, that's enterprise in
Okay.
general.
I mean, I just thought for sure they snuck something else in there. 25%. And they worked so hard on us to have us go above that, and now they're saying, we'll penalize you.
So midnight tonight.
Yeah.
And to that question though, right when that happened, just after that happened, we were just starting a rate study. And so we got a rate study in place that rate study was designed to get us back within 5 years. So we're getting there. We're there now, and hopefully we can stay and keep going on an upward momentum there. So that's a good question. So
What happened in August? We had, 3 million in reserves?
how could we ask that?
And how do we do that again?
Okay, so part of that was we paid 1.5 million for the transformers, so that was a reimbursable from the bond,
Okay.
and we got about $600,000 from IPP, another $400,000 from UAMPS, got some interest, so, yeah, so we had a really good upswing. So, yeah, that looks like, that wasn't because of our rate increase or anything like that. Yeah, you know, it just kind of came through, well, naturally is the right way, but I'm glad you noticed that, because we thought someone's got to ask that, right? Because it's quite a spike.
Yep.
So, but that did help us get back where we needed to be. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you have a goal for the end of 2026 of where you want reserves to be?
And how do we do that?
well, I was gonna say turn your lights off, but we need to have your lights on to get paid.
Cutter's already doing that. We have little lights.
Yeah, I know.
Where you need to keep it at 25? You showed that slide before about the 25, that's, I remember these guys talking about, or you had 30 up there.
So
Right.
yeah, so we need to be right at 14 million.
That's what I mean,
That's-
so once you're there, then there's no, they probably won't work on that, but, because they're at that 30%, but I believe they have to stay at that threshold of 30.
So by July 1st is what you're saying, the end of this fiscal year we're in right now. I would hope, you know, if we were, 15.2, 50.3 million would be great. We'd like that. So, we don't have anything major coming up right now. We've got a couple of, just 2 trucks that we need to purchase out of this year's budget. So there's not anything that I see that's going to take us in the downward progression on that. So I would, if we were at 15.5, then that'd be awesome. And we'll just kind of monitor that and let you know where we think we might be. Is there anything different that you can think? I think
That would be awesome,
that would be.
but when things happen in power, it's so expensive.
This is what I was gonna say.
So that's,
You learned that, didn't you? Yeah, it's input control. You saw
I mean,
firsthand.
yeah, I mean, when.
$1,500, when it hits $1,500 a megawatt hour.
Right.
Yeah.
We got those generators.
Yeah.
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 And, or if something goes down, I mean,
Yes.
things are not just thousands or hundreds, they're millions
Well, I've
of
never
dollars.
seen anything like that $12 million loss, ever.
So-
That's all.
I mean, I've never heard of that. I've looked it up, I've never seen it. That was like the craziest time when those rates went like that. And then to think that where we're at now, hopefully they stay so we can build it back up
For
and
sure.
make up for some of that 12 million. But as you recall, every power department, I hate to say it, but there were 3 higher than us on that point. Yes.
Not the worst.
Yeah, Lehigh and.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Right.
to piggyback off Diane, I know that the code says 30%, but if we go above that, I don't think anybody here is going to
That's
complain
great.
because if we have another thing like 2022?
Yeah.
If we're prepared, I would rather us have the reserves so we're not gouging the residents with very high bills for 6 months.
Yeah.
The reserve reserves.
Yeah, like if we have reserves for a problem, let's build them up as high as we can without killing our residents.
Agreed. I would love to get back. I mean, I think we took some grief having $30 million in the bank.
Yeah, I remember the
But
mentality.
that shows right there, you could wipe a third of that out in
It goes
a
fast.
few months.
I know.
Mentality
Transformer, 3.6
mentality
million.
has changed also from
What mayor did you say?
the mentality has changed. What we used to think, you remember how
Didn't hear
you,
that word.
anyway, the feeling has changed of people saying, oh, you got too much in reserve. That's what I used to hear back in the day. I never hear that anymore because of what you said. And what you said is where all of a sudden it can be gone.
Yeah.
But they used to have that mentality of like, well, what are you're keeping our rates, raising our rates, but you've got 30 million or whatever million in the,
If you don't have a power department, you don't know that.
Yeah,
I
you-
mean,
I
it
agree.
can go so fast.
it causes a lot of stress around here.
So I've been here 18 years. I think I started in 2008. That year, on the books, it said that we had borrowed $8,000 from the water department to get through. So we were at zero. So we were able it was, low interest or low power rates again, and just this perfect storm to get to that 30 million. But then, so we're half of that right now. So if we can get back to that, we'd love to have that back in the bank.
and
And
this gravy, but boy, it can go down
It can go
so
quick,
fast.
disappear really quick.
The money that came in August is something we had to apply for, and do we apply for it every year?
No. So it was,
Just automatic.
with IPP shutting the coal plant down, we got some money back from that. That was 600,000. Then UAMPS, that was every year they budget so much, and if they don't spend it all, we get some of that back, which is good. But none of that was planned.
Okay.
So the bond payment for the transformers, that was just because we'd already paid the transformers before we actually got the bond, but Brenda set it up, thank heavens that we could go back and capture some of the stuff that we actually were putting in towards the substation and a few things like that. So very good part on Brenda to help us recoup some of that through bond. So very astute in my mind. So she does a really good job for us. So any other questions? So this is our bond amount. We started up 19 million. We've had about 8.3 million in draws. We've earned about 400,000 in interest, and we have a remaining balance of 11.1 million. And Brenda's managing this very well, and the way that we're spending stuff, you can get dinged, if you're not spending it and just drawing interest, but we're spending it at a very good rate. So we're not getting, I think it's arbitrage, is that what it's called?
Yes.
So we're not getting charged that. So once again, Brenda's doing a really good job of managing that for us as well. So we rely a lot on Brenda and her expertise there. So, but it helps. It helps to have someone looking over your shoulder for sure. So, right now in the turbines, you got to see those firsthand. I remember the big part in the very back called the diffuser. That's the last part that's on order. That's the $254,000 part. Chris just let us know that should be about the end of the month. So we should be buttoned up back there probably hopefully by mid-April. That'll be plenty of time to get everything tested and ready for the summer season. So we're very excited about that.
Will your people put it in, or is it gonna be people
No,
outside?
that'll be solar. Our people will be there. They'll be watching or helping where they can,
Okay.
but solar will come in and finish that for
Okay.
us. And then once they get everything done, they turn it over to us and it'll be ours. So we're really excited about that. As we talked, it's just one of those things that our employees are so excited to be trained and knowing what needs to be done, and we can do as much maintenance as we can, but we'll rely heavily on solar as well, because they have the expertise, and so we'll work hand in hand with them. But any preventative maintenance that we can do on our own, we'll do, but we'll probably have an annual thing that comes through with solar and have them come and just inspect everything. But the new controls tell us really what's happening with our plant, so thanks for letting us do that upgrade. I think it's gonna.
Well, I think it's gonna be pretty beneficial for the residents.
For sure. Oh yeah, I mean, so we're spending 8.2 million. If we were to replace that plant today, 30 megawatts, I bet it'd be a $40 to $50 million plant. And we're getting it rebuilt with one new turbine for about 8. So money very well spent. So thank you. Yes.
Sorry, when you say that'll be solar, that's a separate entity, that's.
Yeah, so the turbines are solar. I mean, it's SOLAR. So that's
The company, got it
the
right.
turbine manufacturer.
I was like, I thought we.
Yeah, I should've-
did something.
I-
Never
yeah.
pronounce it if it's a Solaire.
I'll say solar. Yeah, we'll call it solar.
TM.
Yes. So anyway, yes. Good question. So, yeah, thank you. There's not a bad question. So please, we want you to learn as much as you can, and we're excited to have you on the council. So please ask.
I might prove you wrong there.
No, we can.
We'll see.
Okay, then our central substation, so we have transformers ordered. That's the 3.6 million apiece. So 7.2 million total. We've paid about 1.5 million. And so we've got a remaining installment payments. They should arrive March of 2028. So that's, when we first started, it was 4 years. Almost, yeah. So we're a little over a year into it now. So, but once that happens, once we get him here, we'll finish this. So right now, we just did an RFP for a design engineer. And so that's been awarded. Well, I shouldn't say that. The RFP has been out. I think we're working out contracts right now. So, but we're excited to get that in place, and so they can start designing this. And we have a construction estimate of about $3.5 million. I mean, that's just kind of a really rough guesstimate. So we're looking at a total cost of $11.2 million, and we paid 1.5, so we're looking at about 9.7 million is the remaining that we'll use up the rest of our bond with. So.
Where is this?
That's the central stuff. That's the sinking. Remember how we walked back and saw it? So we're going to build right on site. So thanks for asking, because people are probably wondering, where is this substation? Central substation. It's right behind our power plant, or right behind our admin building. So it's just to the south of us, between the railroad track. So thank you. I appreciate that. That helps, because there's someone might not know. I mean, that you're there and see it, right? So our central substation, that's the one they're rebuilding. So that one's moving along pretty good as well. So the pen stock we've had someone come and look at that. We've had people in it. We've actually had our people in looking at how it fared from last year, and it's a little more damage, not too much, but so we have had someone in, so we'll put an RFP out as soon as we can for the pen stock. We'll run it again this year, so we'll have hydro if we have water and snow. And then sandy siphon, we'll put an RFP out there, but we've got a budgetary number of about $360,000 to fix that. And once that's repaired, Chris has been working with Sandy.
Does anyone help us? I was just going to say, they
Well-
don't want to have
Yeah, they sure. No, they don't.
They're
But
not.
they've got a big valve they've got to put in, so they have to pony up a little bit of money. So we're working with them to make sure it all gets all gets done at the same time, and so we'd have to do an RFP for that. So anyway, so you've seen that one now. You know what the sandy siphon looks like. You know what our pen stock kind of looks like. You've seen a
I do.
piece. Yeah, you've seen a piece of that. So it's awesome. I'm grateful we had that tour. And so this is what we had. These were our future projects that we had in our CIP. But vehicle storage, that might be put on hold. We might not have enough money for that one. So, but yeah, it's important though. But as we go through this, so we have 9.7. Actually, why don't you run through this math?
Now, where would that be? Where's the,
So right south of remember we showed you the big truck would build a brand new building right there. Nothing fancy, just
so it's on the property?
on the property. Yeah, just south of our warehouse.
Yeah.
So it'd just be a metal building, some garage doors and a cement floor. So I would hope, we'll see. But I was just gonna put it on the back burner for now. So you might see that in another year's budget. So, but it is something we need. I mean, it is needed, but some of this other stuff takes precedence, obviously. So
Yeah, but then there's some wear and tear on
for sure,
vehicles.
for sure.
And you're putting all this money in brand new vehicles and they're out in the snow and the
So-
climate.
So maybe we'd have this discussion budget time. It'd have to probably come out of reserve or something like that. But I mean, we can have that discussion and put it out there and see if that's something we want to proceed with. But as of right now, we'll see. And then once we won't have the substation done for another couple of years, so we won't know how that settles out. But we might. I mean, we'll have that discussion, and we'll see if we will have someone just come and say, just bare bones, really. I mean, just nothing fancy, and maybe it's not the 1.5 that we think it might be. So we'll go down that road still. I don't want to write it off completely because it is important to us. Else we wouldn't have put it in the budget to begin
I'm
with.
with
So.
Pam.
Well, I just feel like we're buying 2 new trucks, did you say? They're brand new. The heat is really hot.
It sure is.
We have no snow, but
Yeah,
the heat
for
is
sure.
really hot, but.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll look at that very seriously.
Yeah, a large tent.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's true.
Get it from Diamond Rental.
We'll figure out something. How's that?
The pen stock is an estimate at $2 million, and initially when we were looking at costs, we did the best that we could, right? When we were looking at the cost of how much we wanted to bond for. And Sandy Siphon, I think we had 600 in there, and that has come in cheaper is what we're looking at. So we're hoping the penstock isn't as expensive. Same with the central substation, but it's just as likely to be more money than it is less with the way things are, right?
Yeah.
So
And the penstock that was rebuilt, and the people didn't do a very good job. But we're still looking into
We're
getting.
still working on that.
Okay, that's okay. I'm just,
Yep,
you know,
we're still- nope,
I
we're
want.
still working on that.
You know, okay.
Appreciate the question.
yeah, good questions.
And, yeah, that's,
Okay,
so really the outlier here was the brand new turbine that we weren't expecting. So we weren't expecting to have to rebuild or buy a brand new turbine, but, yeah, we're gonna be better off for that, so. With latest and greatest technology, it'll pay for itself. So I'm not worried about that, but that was the outlier that really we weren't looking at when we went out for bond, so. Okay, so I don't want to go into depth on this, but just know that UAMPS is coming March 17th, Committee of the Whole. We'll talk about EDAM. I love that name. Energy Day Ahead Market. We'll be starting that May 16th. That's the right date?
Mid-May, yeah.
Mid-May.
Is when it goes live.
And then we'll also look at the UAMPS. They've got a new pooling agreement that they've been working on. It's to the point where it's going to get approved at the community level at UAMPS, and we'll bring it to y'all, and we'll ask for your approval on the new pooling appendix, and we'll talk about that in committee of the whole in depth on March 17th with UAMPS. So
how are you feeling about that?
I'm a little nervous about the Energy Day Ahead Market. That one it's just the unknown. It's just the unknown. We've been told it's going to help keep rates level or even lower. I mean, we'll see.
Who are these people, the pool people? Where's?
Oh, the pool, that's UAMPS.
Yeah.
So we're working off an agreement that's like 20 years old.
Oh,
So now with everything that's happening with EDAM and Energy Day Ahead Market, all this stuff, it just needs to went from a 4-page document to, actually it's the newest document, GL, that's 13?
12, 14.
12 to 14 pages, so I mean, it's
Supposed to be updated.
It's just something that's needed to be updated probably for a long time, and they've used this Energy Day Ahead Market to help facilitate a new, and it's also geared, I don't know if it's geared towards, but I mean, if we do that, if all requirements, some people want to get into all requirements project that UAMPS is, it helps with that as well. So, I know you've heard about that, let's talk a little bit about that as well. So,
We don't have a choice in this.
not the
EDAM part, no.
No, that's, so we're
That's
tied to.
concerning, I hate that.
I know, since we're tied to Rock Mountain Power, they're our balancing authority, yeah, we get to follow them,
Yeah.
so.
did we talk about this 4 years ago, Diane, Mayor? How
You
come?
have talked about it, I don't know how many years
We
ago,
talked
but.
about it a lot.
Yeah, it's been,
That name,
we've been trying to put it out there so that at least it's familiar to
You
you.
probably heard about it when we went to the power thing last year when we went to St. George.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
probably the very first, not the first time, but it probably got, at your level, that's probably the first time that it actually was talked about after UAMPS. So,
that's what
yeah,
it
that's
sounded
exactly,
familiar.
yeah. St. George a year ago, huh?
Yeah,
So, yep. Okay, so that's coming up. Master plan. We're so excited to get this thing done. We are.
Don't believe this.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes between now and a year from now, that thing will be done. I'm just kidding. We've had some really good meetings with the new engineering firm that we've hired, and I wish I could let you see just the amount of data that gets dumped on them. How many data dumps have we done?
Just sent over
We just
100
did
files to them.
We just did another one just lately, just
Lots of.
so it actually goes down to transformer sizes. I mean, so it's down on, we should have put up a map. Well, you got to see the map. You got to see our map of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is just, it's insane the amount of data that they're compiling and going through and the model that they're making and getting for us. So when it is done, it's going to be amazing. It really is. And
It's gonna be pretending to be right?
Is it gonna
I
be in a
promise
gold
you.
book?
I'm not there, we have an agreement.
I'm staking my reputation on this. I am staking my reputation on this. It'll be good. And once again, it's never been done before, so this is,
I
we're
know,
breaking,
ready.
we're breaking new ground here. So thank you. Thank your support, and it's gonna happen, I promise. But that's our date. We're looking at, we got on the committee of the whole April 7th, so I really don't want to have to change that date, so.
My mom's birthday.
Oh, we're gonna celebrate.
Celebrate her birthday.
Yeah,
Plan.
this big old master plan. We'll have cake.
Yeah. If it's not done by day, I'll stick her on you. 4'11" and mean as they get.
Is she local? Is she gonna be here?
Yep.
Oh, well, no, we're really, that's something it is gonna get done. So, thank you. I'll let you talk about our rate study.
Sure. So last rate study that we did was in 2023. I think we started at the end of 2022, and that informed the decisions that you all voted on for us to how we would go about doing rate increases. And so we've gone through the last of 3 of those this last August, and so the rate study, as I think you're all aware, looks at our rates and rate structure and looks at the cost of, they do a cost of service, so it looks at each customer class and what the actual cost it is to provide electricity to each class of customer. And so we're using a different firm this time around. There's nothing wrong with the one we used before, Dave Berg, whom I think a lot of you remembered that were on the council then. He did a great job. We've gone with Utility Financial Solutions out of the same part of the country. Minnesota seems to be where they make rate study experts, I guess. So they've been great to work with, really comprehensive. So we're in the middle of, as we do the master plan, also working on this, and the target for having that complete is the beginning of the summer. So any questions on that at all?
Okay, well, that's in a nutshell. That'd be before you and give you an update on if you ever have any questions, you can always just reach out. But that's pretty much where we're at. We're going forward, so. And
All right, it's looking good.
it is, it really is.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Good report.
Yeah.
All right, thanks Greg and Matt. With that, we'll move on to our second agenda item, which is short-term rental discussion and update with Zachary Smallwood.
Hello. I'll make this short and easy. Let's see. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, so, as promised, in 2024, we were gonna come back and just give an update on how the ordinance has been working, this past, calendar year 2025 with all the short-term rentals. So I'll kind of go through a little bit of where we were at. So back in 2024, there was a loophole found in the code that allowed for short-term rentals. And so the council instituted a temporary land use regulation, which is also known as moratorium, to address that loophole and kind of get through all the short-term rental stuff that we had going on. So we had a number of workshops, crafted some draft language, and went out and sent it through the process to get it adopted. If you remember, we met with a team called Granicus that was going to provide us with some services to identify addresses that are currently operating short-term rentals. At that time, they showed about 180 in Murray. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But kind of high-level overview of the ordinance that was passed. So there are 3 types of short-term rentals: a dedicated vacation rental, which means the owner doesn't live on the property. It's pretty much just an investment property. Unhosted sharing means that the owner leaves the property when they are hosting. And then hosted sharing means that, they're staying on property while also renting out to somebody on a short-term basis. As part of the ordinance, the council decided that the unhosted and dedicated vacation rentals are not allowed, and that hosted sharing would only be allowed. So because of the loophole with consultation with the attorney's office, we couldn't just outright ban the ones that already exist. They were kind of determined to be a non-conforming use. So we had to allow some registration of that. That was kind of our big push this year, was to see what we could do to get there. So what we've done so far, drafted application for new short-term rentals. So after going through with Granicus and refining everything a little bit more, they ended up finding 116 potential non-conforming.
And that's on top of the other number?
Nope. So that 180 came down to 116
Okay,
of the addresses we found.
okay.
So we sent a first letter in May of last year, giving them till the end of July to respond. And then we sent a follow-up in June and gave till August. No, wait, that's a lie, July. And then we gave them till August. So how it's gone, so we got a response rate from about 56%. So we're at about 56, nope, just kidding. I have the number, I wrote it down specifically. 42 of those dwellings actually registered as a non-conforming. 14 of those we received, the letters came back to us, so returned. And then 9 actually clarified and said either they're not operating or they've never operated, so they opted out of the program.
What did you do with the letters that were not responding back? What did you do with those houses?
Right now, nothing, but I'll get to that here in just a second. So of the ones that that registered, the 42 that registered, 90% have obtained a business license. So that's great. We still have a couple that we need to work on. We've had 3 new short-term rentals under the new standards, so just the hosted sharing. And then we had 4 code enforcement complaints in all of 2025 regarding short-term rentals. And that, I can confidently say that none of those were from the ones that are actually registered and have a business license. So that's good. So to go back to your question, originally we didn't have much recourse in the way of kind of going after these, for the ones that didn't register. However, with the adoption of that new administrative code enforcement, that new team will be able to go out and actually take the addresses that we've identified and go out and be able to look at them a lot closer. So that's great. We're really excited for that.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Good.
So then what comes next? So right now, I think we're good just staying the course. I don't think anything really needs to change. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly. It was kind of rocky at first when we got the registration all set up. Business license was inundated with a bunch of questions. Had a bunch of questions, but it's all calmed down now. Like I mentioned, enforcement through the administrative code enforcement will allow for greater compliance now. We'll be able to go after the other 51 that I have kind of out there. And we'll just continue to evaluate how it's going. And if we need to make any adjustments, we'll obviously bring it forward through a text amendment. Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Like I said, pretty quick. So. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
So, if they are grandfathered in, the ones that existed prior to our code that we put in, they still need to have a business license?
Correct. Yeah, so it's a little bit hard to explain, but when it's non-conforming, that non-conformity creates the land use non-conformity, but that doesn't exempt them from getting a business license. That code has existed. If you're operating a business in Murray, you will have a business license. So the land use itself was non-conforming, but the needing a business license is not.
It's not.
So that's kind of how we will be going after these 51. That's how we can definitely go after them, kind of twofold. One, now by not registering, right? Even though we've identified that. And, I've tracked every returned mail we got. So none of these were returned, so I have to assume the people got them. So, but yeah, they do have to have a business license.
And what was the second poll? You said one by.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh.
My brain just went, it's all on.
No worries. Are there any other reasons we would be sending code enforcement to these locations, or is it primarily for not having a business license?
Mostly business license, but it's also looking, they haven't registered with us to do that non-conformity. So right now, they're not actually determined as non-conforming at this time.
Okay.
But on a regular basis, we get complaints about noise,
Yeah.
traffic, so we'll
We have
still
two of them.
respond to those complaints as well.
Okay. And then it gives us another reason to go there.
Yeah,
to one of those
right.
locations. Okay.
And I just want to clarify, when we say go after, our goal is compliance.
I almost did the same thing. I could hear GL saying, okay, that's
Our ultimate goal is compliance. We want people to be compliant with the law. And I think
Pay a cordial visit to.
what we found though, as Zach said, when we get compliance, when we have someone that comes in and registers, then we don't have any issues with code enforcement. That's the reason why compliance is so important. Is once they get registered, once we know they're there, as Zach said, we haven't had any issues with the ones that have registered. It's the ones that haven't registered and got their business license yet. So that's the goal of compliance.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, can I talk to you afterwards on a couple of the houses that we had, that I have in my district?
Sure,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I just wanted, just getting,
Yeah, I was gonna head out after.
Okay, you
after
head
this
out.
one, but you can give me a call.
Okay,
You can
I'll
shoot me a
give you-
call and I'm
That's fine.
happy to
Hey,
answer.
Tam, you can send those to me and I'll get those.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
I just have
Cool.
those houses.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Very good.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Zach.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move on to number 2, which is discuss the Murray Theater and Armory rental fees with myself, Jeff Martin, and Katie Lindquist presenting. So, I'll start this one off. We kind of have a couple goals on this one. With the Armory and the theater coming online, there is nothing within the code right now that specifies how to operate these. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure there's something in code that talks about them. So if you look at our Parks and Recreation fee, you can see that there's something there. And so the council's responsibility is fees, and so we need to evaluate which fees associated with these two entities we want to have departments bring to us, and which ones we want to delegate to the mayor and let him operate. So if you look at the park structure fee right now that is in your packet, you'll see that there are some fees that they bring to us. Like if you look at subsection B, Murray Center membership fees, parkway fees, rentals, the outdoor pool fees are all ours. The mayor takes care of everything else. So for example, you look at like a youth sports program, it's not something the mayor brings to us. They just handle it, they take care of it. So we need to create that division with these two entities. What do we feel like is necessary for us to approve, and what's necessary for the mayor to just take care of and is too minute or too cumbersome to bring to us on a regular basis. Okay, yeah, too in the weeds. So the way I look at it is there's kind of 4 classifications of fees that we can look at. I think we can classify all the Armory rentals as one, if we want to do that. And then there are 3 within the theater. Theater rental fees, concessions, and ticket sales. Anybody want to disagree with those categories? Jeff, Mayor?
What about the staff that does the sound and audio? Is that, would that fall under
That would fall under the rentals.
Okay, that's included.
Yeah. So I say we start with the armory fees. And so the goal of this is we're gonna set the parameters tonight, send it to GL. GL will write up the code and just like in a few months we'll approve the code. So right now we're just setting the parameters. And if you have questions, we have Jeff and Kim and Katie here that we can bounce off, as well as GL for the legal questions. Armory fees. Do we want to keep it ourselves or do we want to delegate it to the mayor?
Which fees?
Armory rental fees.
Determining how much they are.
Yeah, so if they would, so staff would, for example, it would go twofold. Either we can determine them or staff would bring a recommendation and we'd have to approve it.
What do you say?
Okay, can you show me where armory fee is? Is it this one?
Yep.
Okay,
That's
this we
armory
just
fee.
got today.
Yep, the one we just
Okay.
got today.
All right, thank you.
So that's the fees. So right now we see an overview. Do we feel like these are fees that we should approve as a council? Just generally, regardless of the numbers.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
When somebody books at the golf course, is that one of the fees that comes to us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'm trying to think of what other equivalent.
Consistent.
So if you booked out the swimming pool, that fee is one that comes to us. So the swimming pool rental fee, like if a group says, I want to rent a swimming pool at 8:00 on a Tuesday, and we want the whole pool, that fee is one that comes to us.
It's set in code.
And it's set in code. And
I
this
don't
would be
know
set in
how
code.
these guys feel, so correct me, since I didn't really. I think that's an easy thing for you guys, because it's not, how do you say this? It's not back and forth where it would stall. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm just thinking, it's what you do anyway. You set these things, and if we needed them changed, we'll come to you, or whatever. But that's up to you guys. You guys decide. I'm just saying.
It does seem like an easy one.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
makes it more consistent, I think.
That's what my
Well,
personal take is, but I'm willing to hear
But if
disagreement.
you come to, if you start seeing, hey, we're gonna have to charge a little bit, you'd let us know.
And we've done that
Yeah.
already. We've had that happen.
I don't see the armory. I mean, this is really, I've had 2 residents already contact me about the armory, renting them out for weddings. And they were very excited for the cost of what it would cost them to go to another facility and spend several thousands.
Right.
And so for that, for the residents, you'll keep us up to speed. You'll go, hey, listen, we might have to increase because there's some wear and tear on our garage doors or our flooring or our furniture or whatever. I don't see this a problem at all.
Yeah.
I would handle it just like we handle the golf course. How, just,
So we approved this.
And we approve golf course.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Armory fees are one that we would take. Okay. Then the next one is.
Wait, what?
So when you
Yeah.
say armory fees, just know that this shows you the base fees.
Right,
It doesn't show you the deposit
right.
and what would be kept from the deposit. For example, we started out with a $500 deposit. We quickly learned in 2 instances that $500 didn't cover it. And there also are some fees that we have for additional staffing, audiovisual staffing or different staffing that needs to be done. Normally, that's not included in something that at least if you look at the golf course even,
I don't
that's not
think we
included,
need
it's
to.
the base fees.
Right. I mean, that's too
Just because I
in
think,
the weeds.
yeah, somebody said getting in the weeds and cumbersome,
Yeah.
or take, sometimes you need to react.
I'm with
And
you,
the
Diane.
variables,
I'm with you.
we don't know all the variables.
Yep.
I think we know most of the variables with the armory.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, so these additional fee ones, I think, are ones that we would probably like to be able to manipulate where we need to.
Yeah, we don't need to be
and
involved
quicker.
in that.
No, I'm with
And
you,
if any of
Diane.
them become an issue, I'm sure we'll hear about it from the resident, and in
Right.
which case we can bring it up.
Yeah, I don't think.
if you're hearing from the residents, we're doing something wrong.
So,
Such a good price.
But,
so what I'm hearing for
but the
the,
rental,
so what I'm hearing for the council is this part we would codify as has to come to the council, and we would delegate this portion to the mayor.
yes.
Yep,
Yeah, incidental.
Jill, are you getting You can't see what I'm pointing to. Are you following?
I know what you're pointing
You're so intuitive.
And there are some, I don't want you to think that we're hiding things from you. There are some things that aren't included here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't want to get into
No.
that.
Who does? Yeah.
Not our role.
Councilmember Brown, I just have a clarifying question, and you want to keep me.
That was my next question.
No, okay, sorry, I was
Yep.
moving on yet.
So the next question is, do we want to change any of these fees?
When did we start renting it? June?
July.
July?
End of June.
Seems like we should at least give it a full year at the current rates to see, would be my.
I think,
How much money we're losing.
I agree with that. We'll do an analysis after a year of where we are with that.
My one concern is, are we covering cost?
Yeah, that's what I said. How-
I think we are.
Yeah. So, Brenda, are we covering cost?
As long as you don't count the cost of renovating it, yes.
That will never cost.
You're covering operation and maintenance.
I'm impressed with what's happened, not with other things, but with this armory, for whatever reason, took off, so. And I know we're, not the cost of the 6 million, but.
Yeah, how often is it used?
Well,
Multiple times a week, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're probably 3 to 4 right now consistently.
I probably
I know of 2
3 to
weddings that
4
are
a
coming.
week.
What's that?
We have a
2 weddings.
1-year-old birthday party coming up.
And it's only 6 months.
Can I say that? Because there's no name. 1-year birthday party with alcohol. I'm laughing. I'm over there going like, it's for
Love
the.
it.
It's for the parents, they survive.
Listen, have an
You gotta survive the 1-year-old.
I think that's kind of the 18.
I'm all for it.
The 18-year-old party, no alcohol. And then, so it's getting used. Seriously, I just saw that 1-year-old birthday party to an 18-year-old graduate that's going through. So, and then in between weddings, reunions, parties, get together. It's being used a lot.
I can see this just continuing where we're booked nightly.
That's awesome.
I kind of wish I knew, like the ones that were like for the public or, you know, I kind of wish I knew what was happening in there. I mean, obviously somebody's birthday party, but is there like a list somewhere of like, this is like, you know, rented out for a public event kind of thing?
I don't think we mean to reveal what they're doing.
Well, sometimes it like, you know, lots of times it's a private thing, like a family birthday party, but sometimes it's like a, you know, like an event that like
A
there's like a,
chamber event
or like the
Clark's spying on them from his window.
I know.
I can see it from my window. There's like a ton of goons.
Wedding crasher.
I don't know. Like there's like a.
Go tell him if it's a public event.
We wouldn't know the-
An Amway one?
Yeah, that'd be the organizer. We as a city.
There's like a, it's not like
That's a city
film.
event.
If it's city, if anything city,
would.
yes, but anything that's anything else
That's
by a
okay.
private, even if it's a company, yeah, we could use that.
Okay.
Yeah, but Pam, would you control Clark?
I love it. Clark goes, I want to know what's going on there.
I did have a resident call me over the weekend, 2 weekends ago, and they go, so how do we book this for my daughter's wedding? And I'm going, well, here's her number, here's her address, here's her,
Yeah, yeah.
look here.
Plan ahead.
Look here, look here.
I like what Councilmember Pickett said, let's evaluate this in a year.
Yeah.
A year analysis and come back and look at it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I said, Poland said that too, Councilmember Poland. All right, so we're good with the armory? Any other things that I'm missing?
You're saying, so the additional fees would stay with the mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so those fees of like the security deposit, wedding fee, alcohol permit, food truck, those will stay with the mayor. Okay, now, that was the easy one. I think the theater is a little bit more tricky. So,
That's why I have Katie here.
yeah, that's right. All right, so let's start off with tickets. Let's start with concessions. Do we want to delegate that to the mayor, or do we want to keep it ourselves? Concessions.
I gotcha.
Concessions, popcorn, soda, that kind of stuff.
I don't think so. I think that just needs to
That'd be really
stay with
hard,
these
but
guys.
would they whatever,
Yeah,
that'd be
that's getting in the
difficult.
weeds again.
I'm with you.
I'm
I
with
just want to.
Diane.
I'm with you. It's too much, but we gotta make a decision, so we gotta put it in code. Okay, ticket sales.
Well, for events that the city puts on, or
This would be everything.
Yeah.
That moves.
So
that'd be really hard.
You could do that and we'd be okay with it, but we'll be here every council meeting,
Right,
talking
well,
about ticket
that's in
sales
the
for
weeds again.
2 months from now.
That's
Different
much
plays
easier.
cost different amounts of money to put together.
That's your
Every
expertise.
concert is different.
Jeff, that's your.
Movies, you could say they're the same, but still, there's gotta be some ability to change quickly to adjust to the
That's way
market.
too hard,
Yeah.
I think.
I think if we did that, our city council meetings would become like 90 minutes of approving ticket fees.
I mean, I'd love to see you, Jeff.
Every week, 90 minutes of us just going through fees.
You would be changing back real quick.
I do have a concern with the rehearsal fee,
So that goes into the overall rentals.
overall
So
rental.
let's start. So if we delegate those to overall rentals, do we want to keep that to ourselves or do we want to delegate that off?
Can I just run on the last thing we were talking, like
Yeah.
tickets? Do those get discussed at all with the arts board, Murray Arts Board?
They do.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that would be my,
But
because
that's
in
not-
theory,
Yeah, but that's not, just so you know, that's a decision we do with them because they're not a governing board.
Right.
So, but we definitely have them, well, they were a major factor, you've been on it. So they were a major factor in helping.
in theory, they should have more informed input than we would have on the ticket prices anyway.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so the overall rentals. Paul, what's your concern? And then this might lead us into,
And what do you
What?
mean by that?
well, when they want to rent, when a group comes in and wants to rent the building.
Yeah, so we,
Or like a
let's just say
dance performance.
a dance, right? And they want to have a rehearsal.
Same as this?
The rehearsal is $75, according to this right here. Is that what I'm saying correctly?
So what I think you're thinking of in that rehearsal, it would actually fall under probably the single day performance.
So,
Like the
but if they're
rehearsal.
performing on Friday and they want to come rehearse on Thursday, do they
Yes.
pay performance both days, or they pay $75 on Thursday and $400 on Friday?
I think it'd be cool, Katie, on this.
No, that's if they have like a full day rental. Let's say like they wanna come in the day before to rehearse. That's kind of like a dark day where they don't need a full tech, they don't need, like, it depends on if they wanna, like, how much staff they're using. Basically, if it's an empty day that
So
we're
an
not.
empty building, they pay $75 on Thursday?
But they have, it comes with, like, they have to have an actual full day.
Katie, will you come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come sit up here.
Yeah.
So we catch on the microphone.
So there would never
Jeff
be.
is on the chair right there.
No. I mean, I understand it's tied to a full day performance,
Yeah.
but my concern is opportunity cost here. So if somebody comes in and say, we want to rent it for Friday dance performance, Thursday's going to be our rehearsal day. We don't need anybody in there, just turn the lights on, let us walk in and out, do our whatever. We've now lost the opportunity of making $400 that night.
But we wouldn't be doing anything there that night either way.
Even, you couldn't have back-to-back performances with different people? You couldn't have a comedian on Thursday and a dance on Friday?
We could, I prefer.
So what I'm saying is opportunity
not
cost
to.
is
Yeah,
something
okay.
we're taking a hit on.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I'm just, questioning that, the business nature of that would say, is this, because in reality what we're doing is we're running it for 2 nights for $475. So it comes to $238 a night.
So I could see that we would be getting back into the weeds a little bit where maybe that second performance, that second night needed a stage setup of some sort that you wouldn't be able to have a performance the next, or the
Should
night.
they have to rent it for 2 nights? So should they have 2
Right, I think
performance
it-
nights?
I think you kinda get it.
Two $400 nights.
Right. I think you would have, it would kind of be a smorgasbord of just, fees and that's where if you were to come up with one single rate, it kind of hand ties Katie from being able to decide how this really fits best to what they're trying to rent.
Yeah, I do feel like if we charged them for 2 nights, it'd probably be too cost prohibitive for a lot of recitals, graduations and that type of thing. Like, I know that I've heard of some wedding venues that'll, you book it out for like that whole Saturday, but they'll let you come set up the Friday before because you've booked it for the weekend. One of my questions is let's say you have somebody on a Saturday that wants to do a dance recital, but we have like a concert or something on a Friday. So does that mean you can only do something that needs a tech rehearsal the day before? Just that has to be like on a Friday, I guess. That can't be a Saturday, because often this Friday will be booked already with something else.
That question.
So what I'm saying is that, like, you know, for a weekend, I guess the opportunity cost is really on a Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday, yeah.
Thursday, you're going to be less likely to book something anyway. So, but let's say we have like a tribute band on a Friday, but a dance like Studio 56 or somebody like that, you know, like a Murray dance troupe wants to do a recital on the Saturday. So that means, does that make Saturday kind of impossible for them if they need a before day, or could they like come in after the performance?
I would not let them come in the day that we have an event.
That we have an
That's really hard on my staff.
Right.
Because they have to be there the entire time. So like, the only time we ever do that is if it's both a city event. So like, we have Harriet right this weekend. She's performing Saturday night, but Marvelous Wonderettes is rehearsing Saturday morning. And then like right now, like, so like if it's our own stuff, we can work that out. But with rentals, I personally wouldn't do that to my staff. To do like, even back to back is already hard. So that's where I'm like, unless you guys want me to rent every single day, I will need a lot more staff.
Yeah.
Right. So we could only in theory rent every other day.
But if we're,
Okay, so in 2 weeks, I'm trying not to get out of the weeds. In 2 weeks, we have Marvelous on Monday. I'm running in movies on Tuesday. We have a rental on Wednesday, and then Marvelous Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So like that's back to back, but they don't need a day before. Like they're like a very simple, very like 4-hour total event.
So city stuff like movies or a city play can fill in the gaps between.
And you had, I don't know if you guys can, but Jingle Jacks or the Five Carols, they needed rehearsal time.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they just couldn't come in and they don't charge, meaning they're free.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, for city.
So anyway, so they needed rehearsal time. So really, you had that, but you couldn't do anything during
No.
whatever time frame they were there, practice, rehearsing, or the production.
Seems like that's in the weeds too much. I mean, how, we can't
make it
determine
simple.
that.
And it may be that you want to follow what Paul said on the Armory and give Katie a year to, this is her first rental she's talking about.
yeah.
I don't know that Katie really knows 100% all the variables and how rentals are going to work. Maybe you want to wait for a year and have this discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rentals so different.
What we could also just do, like we're doing with the Armory, we set the base and let them work through all the other costs. Like we say base of a rental is this much, if you have to negotiate up beyond that, it's an executive decision.
Good. But even the base we're learning, she's working with a 501c3 and a Murray nonprofit. We don't have base fees for that. I'm not sure where the mayor lands on that or where the council lands on it, but it might be wise to let Katie come up with some recommendations, given some time to make those recommendations.
I give it a year, just like the Armory. These are brand new venues, and you're the experts on both of these venues.
There's also a philosophy question you could ask is, are we looking to do city-sponsored events, or are we looking to generate revenue? And we'll see what the demand is for it. I don't know that we know that answer.
And the other thing with that to tag on is a lot of these rates were all done based off of comparisons, you know, and then do you ask us to do those comparisons to bring to you for you to decide what to do, or would that be something you're willing to take on?
And that's one thing that I wrote on these is the cleaning, $50 per day. Is that a normal rate? I mean, $50?
That's just the base.
Yeah, so, I mean, I walked into the theater when you were cleaning it and I'm going, she needs more than $50. I mean, whoa.
Well,
Yeah.
Katie's learned that she needs to have the carpet scrubbed every week
Yeah.
instead of once a
Yeah.
month. and-
Yeah. That one has been in the real work to change. It's been going more to the 250.
And then these other rates, basic drum kits. I mean, you have this list of things and it says, are these standard fees?
So
I was just
those-
curious.
Yeah, those were all put together by Robert Weiss.
Right.
What he did is he priced out what it costs to purchase those things and then like the expected life expectancy of those
Yes.
things and then wear over tear. So he did like a whole bunch of math formulas that he just presented it to me.
Yeah.
And then, so basically kind of keeping our equipment safe, but also knowing that we'll have to replace it in the future. And so that's kind of where he pulled, also looking at other people's
Right.
rental rates.
And these kind of fees, I don't have a problem with them. I mean, you guys know this. I'm not gonna go out there and go, well, let me see if this is right. This is your job. I mean, I'm not gonna question your work.
So previously, we would rent from the school district, like Hillcrest Junior High. How does it compare? How do these compare to what we used to pay for school district prices?
I don't know what we've paid. 'Cause
If
we
you're-
went-
If you're somebody that's a citizen going to rent from the school district, the school's a lot more.
We had to get a $1 million insurance policy.
It's oftentimes, and I'm not speaking for the school district, but I think they have their fees set so that they don't have to rent it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mostly based off of the county venues and then, like the Utah Theater up in Logan and
Does that make sense?
like theater venues of comparable size.
And when did we start renting at the theater?
Just barely.
The first rental.
2 weeks from now?
Well,
Free.
the first paid rental.
Right.
Yeah, this is new. You guys
Yeah.
need some time.
I was just wondering if we were to give you a year from now, a year from.
Yeah, I said January 2027 because I there's even things where after I'm like seeing what type of rentals I'm like, oh, okay, there needs to be some changes or some. It's not so. Everyone's very different. Like a week-long rental versus a 4-hour rental.
So it sounds like what we're leaning toward is we codify Armory right now and we wait for the theater.
Yep.
Okay, so let's put it on for January 2027. That sounds so far away.
That sounds so fun.
It sounds so far away. Okay, so we'll plan for that of committee of the whole for a year, and then so right now we'll just do Armory. Okay, everybody good with that? All right.
I'm charged for the.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that leaves us with our last agenda item, which is, I've lost my agenda. Number four. Number four. Oh, it's not our last agenda item. Two more, sorry. Our fourth one is Open and Public Meetings Act and Harassment Training to Oak Ridge Show.
Just when you look at the hardcore observers who do this. And the folks who don't have a choice. So, thank you for the opportunity to present these two trainings. Councilman Bolin, you may have sat through this before attending city council meetings, I don't recall.
It was at 2 times speed, so I'm ready to absorb the full
Good.
breadth of it this time.
If it's okay, I'll just start at the top, which is the sexual harassment. This came about from Councilmember Turner, if I recall.
Yep.
Her request that we
Many years ago.
train this annually. We've done it since then. I think it's a good reminder that we do. But it's not required, but I think it is a really good thing to do. Training, I find, keeps us out of trouble. So very happy to do this one. The policy we have there, you can see, foster and maintain a work environment free from discrimination and intimidation. I think those are the two key words, discrimination and intimidation. Toward this end, the city council won't tolerate harassment of any kind that is made by a council member toward other members, staff, city employees, or members of the public. That also goes towards situations where if council staff was being harassed by someone else, not an employee, but someone from outside the city, then you would be involved in that as well. Who's covered? You see we passed rule number 9 in the council rules. Council Relations Anti-Harassment Policy, that's what applies to the new folks. Jeff, did you have a question? Okay. Harassment is defined, unwelcome conduct based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, genetic information, so on and so forth. You can see it there. We have also, so you know, we've got a harassment policy that applies to the administrative side of things. This is something that was discussed some time ago because that does not apply to city council. That's what we came up with. That rule 9 was to have it apply to the council itself. What conduct is harassing? Demeaning comments, could be in writing or orally. Unwelcome epithets, gestures, other physical conduct based on the protected classes. It does not have to be a sexual nature in order to be illegal. Offending conduct based on a victim's gender that is severe or pervasive, for example, could create a hostile work environment. That would also be illegal. Sexual harassment is a form of sexual discrimination. EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Guidelines define sexual harassment as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when probably the ones that apply to you would be, if you go down to the 1, 2, 3, well, I see 3 could, third bullet point, submission to or rejection of the conduct as a basis for employment decisions would be applying that to council staff. The next one below that would be conduct of a sexual nature that has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with work performance, and conduct of such nature that creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. The other 2 probably would not necessarily apply to council. Unwelcome conduct means it's unwanted, and I think the key to this is the person who is the subject of the victim of the conduct is the one who decides if it was welcome or not. And either gender may harass, either gender may be a victim of harassment. The conduct also does not need to be sexually motivated. It just needs to be based on the victim's gender. There's a list of inappropriate conduct. I think we pretty much can agree on these things that are inappropriate. I think that second bullet point is pretty important, which means if it happens often enough or severe enough to make one uncomfortable, intimidated, distracted, then it's going to be illegal. Next page is also more. I think these are a little bit more. Some of these are a little bit in the gray area. I think if you just stay away from them, then you'll be fine. And that would be compliments on an employee's appearance. Not every compliment is going to be inappropriate. You just have to kind of know your audience. What?
He said, I'm in trouble.
The mayor, you look good to the mayor. Like, oh, I can't tell you that anymore.
I like it.
Was that welcome or welcome?
I like that.
You're just fine.
Just saying,
You're fine.
you guys were complimenting GL and Greg on their suits.
I was complimenting.
Got pretty in trouble.
I don't think I was around at that point. So if you just go down that list, those are things that we want to try to avoid. Unwanted gifts of a sexual romantic nature. I haven't seen these. I don't think this is going to come up. I'm not that concerned about those types of things, those explicit things. It's more the things that you don't think would be harassment. The laws that do apply to this are federal. You've got state, and then you've got the council rule 9. Reporting it. Now this has to do with the separation of powers. If it's an incident involving a city employee or an appointee to a board or commission, that should be reported to the mayor. That would be an administrative action. If it involves one of you, council staff, then you'll come to me. That would be reported to me. And based on a report and a prompt investigation is undertaken, it's confidential as much as it can possibly be. I cannot promise absolute confidentiality, but for the most part, we don't talk about this beyond who is involved. Corrective action. Anyone who is found to violate this policy is subject to corrective action. It depends on the gravity of the offense, and the city council will take whatever action deems necessary to make sure it's not repeated.
Gian,
Yes.
going back to reporting inappropriate conduct.
Yes.
What if it's the mayor?
Who does the conduct? Don't go to him or her. You would, what we would do is you would come to me, and I would likely get outside assistance to do an investigation. And then there'd be a report, and that report, depending upon what it was, it's not like I can't fire the mayor based on this.
Right.
We can have a conversation. I don't know if the council probably can't censure the mayor, but there would be some sort of impeachment. Well, probably not impeachment. That would be something I would think would be resolved in a lawsuit of some sort, frankly. I do. It does, I mean, with elected officials, it's, your constituents are who elected you, right?
Right.
So it's not like you can just be removed summarily unless you commit a crime.
Are we good, Diane?
So we're gonna say names.
You know.
I know.
So there was a neighboring city that
Yes.
recently went through, so I mean, did that mayor just resign or was the mayor removed?
So I think it was a councilman, it was the latest I
It was a councilman. I mean, he was planning on going to resign, they helped him.
But there was a
So
mayor
is that
also.
impeachment? Is
Yeah,
that?
well, he's on the council also. No. He's on the council.
Oh, that's right,
So it's
that's
not,
right.
he's not the same form of
That's right.
government as we are. He's on the
Tell
council.
me what you know about
So
that,
they
because
can
I'm
do
not
that.
sure.
Oh, it wasn't a strong mayor.
It wasn't
No.
somewhere. It was
No.
a count.
Yeah,
it was
that's
the same
right.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, good
So,
point.
yeah, they
Oh,
did
so it's a different
encourage
mechanism than.
to.
Because there's part, he or she is part of the council.
Yeah.
Do this. Yeah.
I don't know the legality, I just know it's different.
This is something that we really are adamant about, and that is that anybody who reports some sort of harassment, there can be no retaliation against that person. That's it for that one. So we're gonna get out of there. Your favorite.
What's the mayor? Every time something comes up tonight.
I know. We'll take turns asking.
So I'm gonna repeat my request from last year. Can we change the font?
I remember that.
I know, but I can't read it. What was my request last year?
Unresponsive.
I like blue too. I just
Tell me the color you'd like it to be.
white's fine. Like a white color font.
It's too white.
Oh, you,
Someone
blue
with a
background, but a white
cataract
font.
We can do blue background.
Yellow
with some
didn't work
white-
either.
Yellow
It
didn't
looks
work.
fine up there, I'm just.
That's
I
like
can
fine.
read it up there. I
That's
just
Here,
yeah.
Okay, the city council chair.
There's a violation, be like, I wasn't able to read it. So.
The chair is responsible to make sure that this is, and this is state law. State law requires this training. It's the council's obligation to make sure this training happens each year. The public policy of the Open Public Meetings Act is that the city exists to aid in the conduct of your constituents' business. And the intent is that the deliberations are open, that your actions are taken, your actions meaning your vote. One thing to keep in mind, I think, as we go through this, is just remember that the city council acts as a body. If you're by yourself, you're not acting as a city council unless the city council specifically has given you the authority to act for them, to say something for them, to make a public statement, for example. So if there was a public statement to be made, we would come as a city council, discuss it, and then Mr. Hawk would make that statement on behalf of the city council. If you're out in the public and you make a statement, that's your statement as a personal member of the city and not as a city council member. You don't want people thinking that you're representing the city council unless you truly are.
So let's play with this for a second. Let's say we got three of us to agree on a letter, like on some issue that we want to make a statement on. It's not the chair. The chair is part of the two, but you have three. Does that become an official statement because you have the majority of the council?
It does. You could, yes. Yeah. And if the chair refused to make that statement, one of the three could make the statement.
Okay.
As long as you have a majority. Open refers to public observation. Remember, this time is your time to conduct business. What that means is the audience is allowed to come and watch. They can be explicitly invited to participate, or there are some statutes that require their participation in a public hearing or that allow that to happen. And then there's citizen comment period. We'll get into that tomorrow afternoon, but citizen comment period is come and have a talk. That's something we've done for many years. And so the main point of this is that as you're conversing with each other and discussing things, deliberating and taking votes, the audience gets to see that. They only participate if it's explicitly allowed.
Can non-citizens make a comment in the citizen comment section?
So we have not dealt with that yet. It depends, and when I say depends, there's not necessarily any guiding principle in Utah that says yes or no. The other states, a few states I've seen, they do have that. I think it is important for you to know if the person is a resident or not. So it tells you, it kind of informs your decision and how relevant and how much weight.
Resident and citizen are not the same thing.
What's that?
Resident and citizen are not the same thing.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Can a non-citizen make a comment?
Sure.
So why do we call a citizen comment then?
That is the tradition in Utah that is throughout every city that I've seen.
We got to consider the change there.
Well, the problem is it's not, public comment is
code.
What's that?
Is it in code? So if we change it, it affects code?
I will look at that and see, yeah. Yeah. This is pretty much what I have seen nationwide. I've seen different. I've seen some say public comment. I've seen citizen comment.
Yeah.
We call it resident comment. But we've called it that traditionally forever, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. It's just it's a word that's kind of on fire right now. It's just a little touchy. So
we'll get into
tomorrow. We'll look at it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Citizen is a.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're talking about
you're in a country without proper
Right,
papers, you're not a citizen. So can you make a comment?
Oh, I haven't even thought of that.
Question.
So what we're saying is you can't comment because it's for citizens only.
Interesting.
During an open meeting, can we invite a resident to, if it's not during public comment period?
Yeah.
If somebody's out there,
Yeah,
like
let me
let's
tell
say
you
this meeting right here.
Yeah, let me tell you
like-
the pros and cons. You can. The problem you have is if you start that tradition, it's hard to stop it, number one. Number two, if you put out an agenda that doesn't have a public hearing for that agenda item, someone who may be interested and understands public hearings may not show up. That may have an interest just as equal to the person who is there. So when you take public information, what you're trying to do is inform your decision. If you're taking it just from one side, that's really unfair.
Right. So even if that item's on the agenda, if a public comment period was not on the agenda, then it's not super fair to somebody else who would have liked to have addressed the other side of an issue.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else at this point? This is a little bit of a new definition. Meeting means the convening of the council. Actually, also includes by someone who has the authority to convene it, following the required process for the express purpose of acting as a public body to discuss, receive public comments about a relevant matter, deliberate about a relevant matter, and act upon a relevant. What is a relevant matter? What do you think?
Whatever we determine.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like if we get three of us to agree on something.
It's that, and I would expand it even further to say anything you have jurisdiction over, that you could make a decision on, is going to be a relevant matter.
When we took our field trip to the power department and we were all there, is that?
Oh, you violated the law all over. No, we talked about this. So because you weren't there to discuss, receive, or make a decision, that was okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really good question. In the past, without this new definition, that would have been a harder sell.
You would usually do public.
We would notice those things And if people want to show up, they would, but that's not a public.
Somebody could have come.
And they did not discuss anything. I just want that.
We did not.
So the answer is you're fine.
There may be some harassment.
We want to be, what we want to be careful of is not getting 3 or more together and talking about something that's coming in front of you, right, in the future. Now, going to a department and seeing what they do and talking to them about what they do, if you had taken Greg aside, the 5 of you, and said, okay, we've got this on the agenda coming up, what are we going to do about it? That would have violated the law.
Right. And if we all go to one of the out-of-town conventions, and we're all there, and we see each other a lot, that's not technically a meeting as long as we don't
That's correct. because
deliberate about a relevant matter.
Not only that, but you're not convening as a council, as a public body.
Okay, we're convening, but not as a public body.
That's correct.
Okay.
What they've said now
So that means
basically
we
is.
can go bowling together.
You could. You could. You just
We
can't.
can have a barbecue.
You can't have an intent. You can't have an intent to make a decision and to discuss something relevant. Now, when you're back there and you're socializing and whatever else, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Right.
The next one is where you want to be careful. Predetermining city council action is prohibited, and that means 3 or more may not act outside of a meeting together deliberately to predetermine action that's going to come in front of you. So if you have a land use issue coming up, you don't want to get outside of a public meeting where 3 of you either telephone, text, email, social media, any other way are discussing as a body what's coming up in front of you.
Or in person.
Or in person,
So like
correct.
if we're at the safety fair and 3
That's
can
right.
see each other.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So when we ignore you at the safety fair, it's not personal.
It's like, but you're just ignoring me.
Quorum is 3 council members. It takes 2/3 to close the meeting. Otherwise, it's a majority of the it's a quorum. It has to be majority of the quorum, basically. Okay. Notifying the public. Once a year, we publish all the meetings that are going to occur in the city in the coming year. Those are called regular meetings. That's our schedule. Then, on top of that, before each meeting occurs, we give at least a 24-hour public notice, and that's out here. I think it's on the Utah Public Notice website. I think we put it also on our website so that that's compliant with the state law. The agenda is what goes out 24 hours before, at least 24 hours, and it will have the date, time, place, and it'll have what's going to be heard in the meeting. The 24-hour notice, as you can see, may be disregarded if it's an emergency meeting, and then after that, it's an urgent emergency, and then you give your best notice possible as you can. The agenda needs to be reasonably specific to notify the public what's going to be discussed in the meeting. It would not be fair to hide something through the agenda that you thought was going to be controversial or a big deal and obscure it to the point where nobody knew what you're talking about. At the same time, you're not required to give a paragraph on everything that you're doing. So we pretty much have a consistent way, I think, of the agenda. It's been that way for a long time, and we've never had any issue with it. But that's why the agenda is the way it is. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have a workshop, right, on Thursday, and one of the items is budget priorities, which seems, and I'm actually not quite sure if like we have specific things we're going to talk about, or if anyone can mention a priority, and then does that constitute a subject that needed to, you know what I mean? Like, is it okay to be big like that?
Yeah, so budget itself, talking about the budget and priority is something we have done in the past. I think that's okay. I do. It's going to be what you're prioritizing, obviously, right? And I think we've done that before, and I don't think you would need to specifically mention, particularly for a workshop where it's kind of a, let's bring our ideas together and discuss this. I don't think that's a problem.
Because the public's aware that it's a workshop and lots of things can be discussed.
Yeah, and it's a budget issue, yeah.
And they could attend if they want.
Right.
The other thing about the open public meeting, go ahead.
I have a question, because this has come up and I just want to clarify. What if we wanted to have like a catch-all item at the end, like additional, I don't know, you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying. No, that's not a good idea because no one's going to know what that is that you're going to talk about. And just to go down that road means you're going to eventually talk about something you just shouldn't. So I would say no. I think our biggest catch-all is mayor's report, and that's fine. That's just whatever the mayor is going to tell us. I think that's good. But I think if you're going to actually hear something that you may make a decision on or have a serious discussion on, they need to know more than just that.
So even at a workshop, you can't just.
I don't think so. Yeah. In terms of the agenda, each topic has to be listed on the agenda. Again, it's all about being accountable and being transparent and not hiding anything. Topics not on the agenda but raised by the public, that we've seen that before, where someone comes in to public/citizen comment area and they raise some issue and it's not on our radar. You can have somewhat of a conversation about that. You can't make any decisions. I think you've handled these very well, where you've either ignored them, thank you very much for your comments, and then moved on, or have said, hey, Mayor, can you look into this? I think that's perfectly appropriate. We just can't take any action on that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's just as staff, I feel like it's been really good at pulling people aside in the middle of meeting and discussing it where we can't down and talk to them.
Yeah.
That's been really good.
Non-reactive.
Closed meeting. This is like everybody's favorite topic. I don't know why. We don't do this very often. Anyway, what has to happen is you basically have to start in an open meeting and then vote to close it. 2/3 of the council has to vote to approve it. Once you get into the closed meeting, you can't make any motions except to end the closed meeting and go back into the open meeting. So you also have to have in the minutes entered the reason for holding the meeting, who voted for what, who voted for the meeting, and who voted against the closed meeting. Things that you just have, again, this is one of those things where the legislature has said, hey, there are some appropriate times when you just can't have a good, honest, fair discussion in public. It just wouldn't be right. For example, discussing the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual. We've never had to do that, but if you ever did, you wouldn't want that to be out in the public. Strategy sessions to discuss pending or reasonably imminent litigation, real estate situations. Another one that has come up, which I really am happy about, is you can discuss a proposed development agreement or project proposal, which is good to do.
So in that first one,
Yeah.
would you have to identify, like you go to the public meeting and you say, we're gonna have a discussion about the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of person A here? Or do we just say, we're gonna talk about employee, elected officials, character? Like, do we have to specify the individual?
I would at least specify the position.
The position?
Yeah.
Really?
At least that I would.
Well, and if they know it's for competence and
Yeah.
health, I mean, that gives people a pretty big clue as to
Yeah.
what would happen.
It would. Yeah. What you really shouldn't do, and I think some folks do this, is if you were to hire somebody, if you were hiring somebody, you're not a hiring body, but if you were, you can't go into closed session to do like your interviews and to consider credentials and things. That's got to be in the open. But and again, the Open Public Meetings Act covers every public body. So there's some things we just won't see in the city council that maybe a school board would see, for example. So, and then sell the property. I mean, the reason for property, obviously, I think is pretty clear. You don't want somebody gaining advantage by knowing what we're going to offer or what we're going to sell for. You don't want speculating going on around what we're doing. So that makes a lot of sense, I think. Minutes, you still have to take minutes, recorded and detailed written minutes. Those are protected. They can be disclosed by a court order, otherwise we would not disclose those things. Now, who knows what a special meeting is? What's a special meeting?
Meeting we didn't tell the public about.
So it's anytime you have a meeting that is not a regular meeting. The regular meeting, remember, that goes out a year in advance, that's scheduled, it's published in the paper, or wherever we publish it. This is one that just comes up. It's not like there's something special discussed in the meeting that isn't discussed otherwise. It's just called a special meeting. And the key here is this. The key is that each of you get notice to that. That's the most important part. So we have on occasion held a special meeting. Jennifer will have a piece of paper that you sign saying you were notified of it. And the reason for this is you'll see 2 council members or the mayor could convene a special meeting. The idea is that 2 council members or mayor can't hold a meeting that no one knows about, or that one of you doesn't know about. You all get notice of the meeting, and that's the idea. Nothing necessarily special about it, just outside the course of our regular meeting schedule. That's what that means.
And can things be voted on and motions be made in a special meeting?
Say that again?
Can things be voted on?
Oh, yeah, it's a normal meeting.
Normal meeting.
So if you come down, for example, say, okay, we're going to cancel this meeting because of this conference, or we're going to hold it here, and you decide that during the year, that meeting becomes a special meeting.
Okay.
Now, we've gone back also when there were several cancellations and just did another notice to everybody of all the meetings. Is that right? I think we did that.
Yeah, if there's a lot, we'll just
Yeah.
update the meetings for the
The
year.
annual schedule.
But if it's just 2 members and the mayor who determine it, you can't do anything because you'll have 3 votes.
Right.
Correct.
But you could, the 2 of you could invite Councilmember Bolin and leave the other 2 out because they're not voting in your favor. Right.
So for instance, we scheduled a meeting on March 24th. We are now not having that.
Yeah,
We're
it's a
leaving.
special
The 17th is now a special meeting.
So can you walk me through that scenario again?
So if you have a special meeting, do you have to let the public know
You
about it?
You do.
Okay, and could they go?
They could.
They could attend.
Yeah, it's just a normal meeting. Just it's not one listed on that regular schedule annually.
So when we have replaced council members to fill a special vacancy, those have often been special meetings.
Yes, at times.
Not that we ever have to do that.
No, and then the reason for that is we have a time limit to do that in, right?
Right.
And if we don't have a scheduled meeting within that time frame, we have to hold a special meeting. Yeah. There's nothing else that's different between special and regular, except that the regular shows up annually and special does not. Because we just didn't anticipate it.
Right.
Council members.
Can you do a closed meeting during a special
It
meeting?
has to be public, period.
Yeah,
That's why.
but she would still give a 24-hour notice to the public like every other meeting, so that they know.
But it says 3 hours there, doesn't it? The second bullet point?
Yeah. Well, at least 3 hours, yeah. Yeah, I should do that in a different color so it's more legible, shouldn't I?
Huh.
It says at least 3 hours, I suppose, to me, that's more of an emergency. I'll look at that again, but that is what it says.
If the mayor calls a meeting at 9 a.m. and says we're meeting tonight at 5,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
allows that to happen.
and that allows the 3 hours.
Yeah.
I
would be a proponent of going to this 24, because otherwise it's really an emergency meeting, and it has to be urgent.
So if the mayor and 2 council members met and then they convened a closed session,
So hang on a second. It's the mayor can do it on his own,
do it as a,
or 2 can do it on their own.
oh, okay.
Then they just tell Jennifer, we're gonna have a meeting.
Right.
So what's your question?
And you say, can they do it, and they can do a closed session during that meeting?
Yeah, but only if you get a quorum.
Only.
You gotta have a quorum to hold that
To
meeting.
hold the closed session.
Yeah, so if 2 said we wanna hold it and no one else is available.
You're
it's not special.
what you're talking
So
about.
3 council members could hold a special meeting
They could.
and do a closed
Thinking
session.
about it
They
like
could.
Shady
You're right.
says.
And even though those minutes are only released by court order, could the other 2 council members see the minutes and the recording of
They
it?
would know about the meeting because Jennifer would have to let us know.
You'd have to get notice of the, but could you?
But like if you weren't in attendance, I mean.
Yeah, I would think you would have a right to see that. I do.
Okay.
I do.
Not that,
I wouldn't make
like,
you do it
do a
now
special
on that.
meeting when
Yeah.
other people were out of town or
Yeah,
something.
no, I mean, that's
Various plan.
the idea. That's
Okay, clerk's out of town, let's meet.
I'm trying to avoid.
We just went down the wrong road, didn't we?
Yeah.
Anything else on special meetings?
getting punchy.
Okay.
Good conversation to
The
have.
emergency meetings, I hesitate to go down this.
What scenarios can we come up with?
So you have to attempt to notify everybody. You don't have to give the 24 hours if you don't, if it's not, if it's an urgent matter, you can meet without giving the normal notice.
So this
What would
applies
be an
24
example?
hours for the regular meeting now, where you had 3 hours before.
So special meeting
No,
is
it's
3
not
hours,
required.
emergency meeting is
It's not
24
It's
hours.
not required.
This is, Emergency mean, no, what it says is it's not required if there's unforeseen circumstances. You can do
But the
this in 10 days.
implication is
Yes.
that the other one requires 24 hours. Well, it says 3 hours.
Right.
I'm not trying to be an attorney.
It
to
is
an
3
attorney,
hours.
you know, but-
3 hours is right.
You know.
That is right. I got that right out of the statute.
Yeah.
But I would not think that you would be, I would think it would be more emergency than special if you really.
It seems like it's backwards, but you know, who am I to?
No, what this one says
It is Utah.
This one says the normal 24 hours isn't required.
Exactly.
An emergency.
But implies that it is required.
It's not. That's no implication at all. It says specifically.
If the normal
it's not.
24 hours notice is not required, the implication is that it is required somewhere. Otherwise, it would
Oh, yeah.
say the normal 24 hours.
Regular meetings.
In regular meetings.
24 hours, yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you give the best,
Oh, that was weedy.
best notice you can give.
I love stuff like that, sorry.
I'm just like going, I'm in the weeds, I'm out the weeds. I'm in the weeds now.
Next topic is electronic meetings. This really came to light during COVID. If you have an anchor location, that's an authorized place, that would be like this room or that room. But you have to have already adopted a resolution or an ordinance, which we have. Without an anchor location is where the chair makes a determination that it's just too unsafe to be at the anchor location. Chair makes a determination, all that stuff that comes into play if you're gonna do one of those. And that, of course, again, COVID was the only example I have for that. If you had, I suppose, natural disaster of some sort, you would probably be getting or going through an emergency meeting, or electronic, I'm sorry. Now, enforcement of this whole thing, disruption of meetings, just so you know, if someone is extremely disorderly, they can be removed. Whether that's a council member.
I can go. We need him to be removed.
That's usually, but not always, the public, someone from the public who's just gotten out of hand. Final actions avoidable. So if you go into a meeting and you violate the Open Public Meetings Act in some way, whether notice wasn't given correctly or something, and you take an action, you vote on something, that can be undone. There's a 90-day statute of limitations, except for bonds. You may have noticed that when we pass bonds, there's a 30-day limit to that.
And somebody would just talk to you if they thought that there was a violation, or
They could talk to me, but it would be, I'm not the one who do that, they would go to court.
they'd have to go to court
Yeah.
within 90 days?
Mhm.
to file?
Yes. Public enforcement can be by the Utah AG or the DA. Private enforcement, a person can commence a suit in court to compel, as you see up there, with or enjoin violations of this chapter. And then closed meeting violations, they're more adamant about those, which is, that's a Class B misdemeanor if we violate that. So we definitely don't want to do that. We have heritage and transparency. Utah was the first one to pass the Sunshine Law back in the day. I will say that I think that Murray has done a fantastic job for many years, being transparent, being open. I don't really have any concerns about this. I think we do a really good job.
What is one of the lowest, like, closed meeting rates in the state?
Yeah, when they looked at that a few years ago, I think we were like, it was either 4% or 4 total compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, we were like at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't do that.
Any questions on this one? If you give me a color scheme, I'm happy to follow it.
White. This is white font. It's perfect. I can read it just easily.
We'll get you the stuff.
You can keep the blue background. It's great.
All right,
Blue is
all right,
back.
all right.
Just a
I
white
hear it.
font.
The font is too light.
I like how it was defined as 4 years old and over was for old. It's like, oh.
All right.
I have
Thanks.
a
Yeah.
question. It's not that though. Can I ask it?
Is it on the agenda?
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
No, it's about grandma.
Ask me the question.
Okay, what I'm wondering is what of our records, our phone records, our
Council records.
emails, you know,
Yeah.
that has to do with council issues.
Okay.
What does grandma what role does grandma play in that?
So anytime that there is a record that's created or possessed by the city, one of you, that is related to the city's business, that could be requested. So if you were texting, for example, about some ordinance or something, that's the public's business. Somebody could request those tax.
Or if they thought we were, but we weren't.
Correct. They could make the request. We'd say they don't exist. Sorry. No record to give you.
Okay.
So that would be you,
Yes.
who get a copy of our tax sheet, go through them and go,
Correct.
yeah, there's nothing on there about that. Or there's a bunch of recipes.
Or you would
skulls
just,
or
yeah,
something.
exactly. Or you would just say to me, I didn't text. And I'd say, then we don't have a record. Yeah.
And that's only between employees, like if I texted my spouse about a city issue, is that grammable?
That's probably not public business unless your spouse is your advisor. Like official advisor. So no, I don't think that would.
Official advisor.
There wouldn't, I don't think that would be an issue. I think the issues are when you are talking to others about business of the city that also have other council members, other staff. I think that would, anything you send me is not going to be, I won't release it under grandma because we have an attorney-client privilege that way.
What if it's your personal phone as opposed to your?
Same thing, if you do public business on it, then that could be something that would be, we call it grammable. It could be recovered in grandma.
Even if it's your personal phone?
Yes, yes.
And if it's between you and a citizen, that's, even though they're asking their representative about city business, that's not grammable?
It is.
That is.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So anytime you discuss city business.
Even
Yes,
if it's
yeah,
on
pretty
your
much.
personal phone?
So stop talking to the citizens.
Just be careful what you say, that's all.
Just know that it's all public.
We have not gotten.
So your spouse is a citizen though, theoretically.
Yeah, I guess if you're talking, she's saying, hey, can you change this ordinance? That
Then
probably
that could be.
Yeah, that could be.
I've never texted.
Well, and we had some issues with that. And we were found in violation.
What issues?
That was the one, oh my goodness.
How long ago?
Help me with this, remember?
Tell me a little bit more.
We were sued.
Over grandma?
Are you talking about the old
Shoot.
Carnegie Library property?
Yeah.
So the only lawsuit I'm aware of,
That we lost that.
You know what I
Part
mean?
of it was because of
Grandma?
grandma.
the only one I'm aware of where we got actually sued. When they say sued, the grandma process is they submit a request. If we deny it, it goes to the mayor's office. If the mayor denies it, it goes to the state. And if the state denies it, then it can go to court. And the only one I'm aware of that I can think of off the top of my head was a resident asked for all internal affairs investigation results. And what the law is you can't have those that are unsustained, but you can have sustained records. So for example, if somebody is accused of some wrongdoing as an officer, they have an internal affairs investigation. Oftentimes, most of the time, those are not sustained. But when they are, that letter that goes to the officer could be discovered by, could be requested, and we would have to do that. And that was one that we did go to court on,
Yeah.
where they were unsustained. And we said, we don't want to give those out. They said, you got to give those out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How fun to be a elected official.
All right.
Questions, comments?
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All right.
that.
Now we're on to our last item, which is legislative updates from Diane Turner.
GL, I want you to comment on anything because you're very aware of what's going on, and so anyway, there's some interesting stuff going on, and I think probably most of you are aware of it, right? Because you also pay attention. And do you watch the?
Yeah, Clark was commenting.
Yeah.
I know, that's right, I saw it. Yeah, so what I would like this to be is more of a discussion rather than a report, because we're all aware of what's going on. And if there's something that you want me to pay attention to, you know, if there's a way, because we have 3 voting members, the mayor, GL, and myself. And so if there's something you believe in very strongly or are concerned about, you need to let us know and let me know because.
Is this the ULCT email we get every day with the legislative
Yes.
updates and that?
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
are fun. I
Yeah.
love reading. Yeah.
Are you watching them too?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so.
Fellowship, sometimes
So,
they're scary.
yeah, sometimes they are scary. And so, anyway, so I want these reports to be more of a discussion. And if there's something that I've missed, please let me know, okay? So, this is the number of bills that we've got. This is a comparison of other years and what we've currently got. If you want to pass that over.
We high?
They are.
They're very high.
There's a bill to control the number of bills.
Shut up. Oh, I said that, I was joking. There really is. I was totally kidding. I said they should have a bill that.
Well, there's also bill to make
last year.
Android the official phone of the state.
And I just got a text that there's another one coming that will be numbered tonight, this evening. I just got a text from somebody that was
About?
looking at.
Yeah.
This Jill Colford, Koford, she was said that she wasn't going forward with the House Bill 161, but they're still going to watch it.
Property tax modifications.
Yep.
Wait a minute, was she the really bad bill?
And then they were saying the gas tax bill will likely be numbered this evening. The newest version is less agreeable. This is creating friction with neighboring states, especially Idaho.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun one to watch though.
I love watching this. I mean, it's like,
The Taxpayer Bill of Rights. That's the really bad one was.
Yep, so there's the SB 97 property tax rate amendments. And let's see, I guess the message for legislators is property tax next steps. More bills are likely to come this week. ULCT board direction based on LPC input. Preserve ability to raise property tax without being subject to statutory limits or requirements for voter approval. And this is the one where they want to limit your ability to raise, is that right, Adam?
Yeah.
Limit your ability to raise taxes by 5%.
Where are we in relation to our cap? They
I
keep
just
asking
looked it
an
up,
LPC.
somebody asked that.
Yeah, they keep asking us an LPC.
The cap is .007, we are at .0018.
So we're
So
not,
we could
We're not even there.
go, we could raise it 2.77 times what it is now. 275%.
so we're not close.
No. No. But
That includes
still,
the library.
Okay, that's all I know.
yeah, but still, I mean, I don't think they have any business telling us a lot of things, but.
But he said,
particularly-
I think Cam said in that meeting, they're probably gonna pull the cap out of that bill.
Yeah.
Is what McKay's thinking, which
Hopefully,
makes it better. Still not great, but
No.
it's better.
no.
And that affects our bondability, I was reading somewhere, like the cap.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we can't, like, one of the incentives for a bond is that we can raise taxes to always make sure we can pay off our bond.
Right.
This limits our ability to do that, and so now the bond becomes less secure.
Less secure, less desirable.
Yeah, it's a little bit more risky for them.
Right. So they're hoping the state should understand consequences and impacts on cities and towns of changing the value of the primary residential exemption and of the property tax process as a whole.
That's hoping a lot.
I know. Most of them have no idea. So. Anyway, okay, now, property tax
So,
modifications, that's
Yeah,
SB
we hope, okay,
971.
somebody explain to me this 200% in McKay's bill, that of like growth, we can only, yeah, what was the 200%? I wasn't.
Me too.
Okay. I was listening to that going, I don't get what they're trying to legislate here, that like 200% we can,
They're talking about
growth?
property tax increases and new growth.
So they're trying to limit how much, so say one day, Focal Point comes online. We might get a 3% bump in that, But if you had 5 of those come online, I think he's saying your growth can only be 5%. Well, that's a problem because just natural growth was more than that. So now what do? We lower our rates and we never get the benefit of those guys coming online? That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, McCain's bill worries me. It seems like it's good.
Yeah, so I think they're opposing it, right?
They are. That's what they said, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, SB 97, which is proposal to amend the Utah Constitution, property tax modifications. So is anyone familiar with that one?
Is that the 45 to 55?
Yes,
97.
that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Where are we at? That's still the property tax amendments.
So I would switch to state constitution so that it's only 45% regulated instead of 55%.
Right. And I think they're opposing that as well, hopefully. The tax entity may not raise property tax more than 5%, which is what we talked about. Change definition of locally assessed new growth. The current definition minus any change in value to property as a result of physical improvements that is less than 200% higher than the taxable value of the property for the previous year. And number 3 is to project area new growth for certain entities does not include a change in value for tangible personal property. So you cannot count improvements until they are complete. GL, does that make sense to you?
In what way? I understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. But yeah.
I get what Cam was saying. What entities are really doing this, where they take 30% one year and 100% the next year?
Right.
I don't know what they're doing, but I get the theory.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a substitute to fund balance limit reduced from 35 to 25 for cities. Which, it used to be 25 and then it was put to 35. So they're just going backwards. Makes no sense. I don't understand the reason behind that. Number 2, residential exemption, 1 per household.
What are we at? We're at 23?
We're at 26. The reason they upped it to 35 that year was because all the cities were getting a huge influx of money from the feds for COVID. And we didn't have time to spend it. So they upped it to 35 so we all wouldn't be in. And I knew it was probably gonna come back down to 25. We're at 26. I can just as easily keep it at 25 right now.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
Winter does not want it to go.
Greg gets his building.
Greg just got his building. I was just thinking, Greg, building.
Stick around long enough.
And then 3, property tax cannot be in reserve fund for capital improvements. 4, certified tax rate won't include interest from investment. And I'm not sure what that means. Brenda's over there going, you know what that means, Brenda? Okay. Anyway, that's SB 97. All right, now, property tax modifications, 161, that requires a constitutional amendment. Currently, a primary residential unit is taxed at 55% of its value. House Bill 161 would tax a primary residential unit at 40% of its value. The intent is to reduce tax burden on homeowners, and maintain revenue for taxing entities.
Like businesses. Right? Yeah.
I guess.
That's the idea, more on businesses.
It's
less
on
on
businesses.
Unless
Which
on
means-
residential, and that's their focus.
We just pay for our groceries instead of our.
Which they'll increase all their services for that.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, we get it one way or another.
And I was just told that bill was off. But they're still watching it.
So, yeah, it says the position is pending.
Yeah.
So, if you don't like it, well,
That was when we checked earlier, the position was pending. That was earlier.
yeah,
How it's been 3 hours since we looked at it.
exactly. So we don't know now. Okay. And then there's truth and taxation amendments. There's the Utah Taxpayer Oversight of Government Spending Amendments. Are you interested in any of those, or do you want to discuss any of those? Anyway, so taxes and, having the taxpayer not pay as much in taxes, which I don't know. They want to determine all that. They want to make those decisions for the cities, of course, that's what they do. And then the charter school amendments, I think that's one that we're kind of all interested in. That's the.
Kelly Tioli is keeping us up on date.
she said-
Yeah, she is, she's doing a good job.
She's really on top of that.
And the position is still pending on that one,
Do try to
I mean-
negotiate it.
yeah, so.
Yeah, now that currently isn't both us and charters have first right, and so.
The cities have been added.
Currently,
Yes.
currently
Yeah.
just cities have it.
Yeah.
This bill would add
They
charter.
just say,
They actually wanted to have charter have primary, and now it's like
Right.
we
Now
can
we
compete with
have
each
equal.
other.
Yeah, it says eligible entity and charter school each have first right for 90 days. And if both submit, then school district decides.
I think in our case with our school district, we have a good enough relationship that I think we won't have an issue with it, but I do worry about other cities on this bill.
Yeah.
Really, I would imagine most school districts would want a charter to come in and fill their.
Right.
Most, from my understanding, a lot of school districts don't like the cities they work with, so. It
Yeah,
might be
they
a
don't
little,
work with
hey, as they're going at it.
Yeah.
So, we have a good relationship, but other cities and school districts might be a little bit more adversarial.
District consideration includes the community benefit. I'm not sure about that. Anyway. So that's what Jennifer and I decided was the most important things. If you guys have anything to add, since you're all monitoring it, please say
So
it.
do we have to, they talked about the WUI map. Do we
That
have
doesn't
to,
apply to us.
so we're okay on that WUI map? We don't, oh,
So far,
Joey's back there just gave me a thumbs up. Because they were talking about lines and this and over here and if you're there. I just want to make sure that we're okay with our WUI map and we're okay.
You guys are squared away in the city, no worries in it.
Yeah.
Neighboring, if you live up on the hills, different story,
You're
but
right,
Murray's good.
okay. Perfect.
Anything else? Anything you want us to follow closer, or it seems like you're all.
Oh, what about the library line on our property taxes, how it was included with us? Is that being looked at or what?
Brenda, you were working with you.
Do you know
I haven't
what's-
seen the bill yet, but I've seen language that's supposed to be coming.
That's what I've heard.
Salt Lake City's addressing it.
Oh, Salt Lake County's addressing it?
Salt Lake City.
Oh, Salt Lake City.
They were in the same boat we were, which was a blessing because they're huge and they're listening to them and we're piling on.
Okay, all right. I was just curious about that because I just remember that property tax thing
Yeah.
notice and they were combining and I just was curious if that was being brought forward and it is. Thank you, that's wonderful.
And let me know if there's something you feel very strongly about that you want me to be aware of, or, that you want us to or you have checked into it further and just let us know, right, GL?
That's right.
Right, Mayor?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, this is fun.
Only one to go.
Hey.
All right, then with that, we are adjourned.